Japan is undoubtedly one of the greatest destinations for photographers. The landscapes, cityscapes, and culture are so unique and lends itself towards visual arts. The country has so much to offer, in fact, too much for any traveler who tries to experience it all in one trip. So with that in mind, and my love for street photography and traveling, I finally found a window of time to visit Japan with no expectations, no plans, just me, my friends, and my film camera. Welcome to a first-timer's film photography in Japan. Good morning, everybody. This is actually day 3 here in Tokyo. The first 2 days I've been going absolutely insane, just taking in all the sights, going crazy on street photography, food, culture, all that stuff. This is my first time in Japan. I've been trying to come here since 2019, so life kept happening, scheduling conflicts, all that jazz, but I'm finally here. I haven't been to Asia since 2010. So it's been a really long time since I've been in the continent alone. In 2010, I went to Hong Kong and China, and I will be going there after this leg in Japan, but Tokyo has been a dream as a photographer, as someone who just loves Japanese culture. I'm currently staying in Shinjuku. A lot of people have told me this is very like Manhattan-esque, but even coming from Manhattan, and I live in New York, this place is insane. It's so busy. It's like non-stop action, and I thought Manhattan was non-stop. No, here it's on a whole nother level. In the first 2 days we were out till late in the night and people are just going wild. I only brought 15 rolls of film with me, and of course I'm rocking the M6 of the 28, so we don't need to go too deep into that setup. But I'm almost done with my film supply, and this is only the 3rd day, so I royally messed up. Everything here is attracted to me. The trains, the stations, the food places, of course the crossing, the massive intersections, and the density of people. There's the light pockets. I don't even shoot in light pockets like Fan-ho-esque. I don't really photograph street photography in that way, but here it's just different. The palette, the colors, the lighting, the culture, everything. It's so novel, and I haven't experienced this high level of novelty in photography in such a long time, and it's just fun to have that as I guess like a little spice on top of exploring Japan for the first time. Yeah, I'm gonna take you along for a ride for sure. I'm not really great at vlogging, but here in Japan I gotta do it. This is for my own self-documentation, and you guys are just kind of joining me for that ride too, so let's do it. The first 5 days on this trip were spent in Tokyo, and the feeling of novelty was again at an all-time high. So it was during this portion of the trip when I was trigger happy, photographing almost everything and anything that moved. I was so excited that I couldn't stop moving when I tried to film myself. It almost rendered most of my clips damn near unusable. Coming from New York City, I'm very accustomed to photographing people doing their own thing and seldom having confrontations, but whenever I'm in a new city, let alone a new country, I always want to test the waters and ask around for how strangers react to my style of street. The general consensus is pretty similar to New York City, where nobody really cares because they're kind of doing their own thing. Surprisingly, my trigger-happy work didn't come from up top in the city, but down low in the metro. Public transportation provides such a great view of another culture because I get to see the array of folks that flood the train, that commute, that are going home or going somewhere else, and I get to take my time soaking in the scene. And going back to what I just said about photographing strangers, I had 0 confrontations and an infinite amount of beautiful scenes. Now at Kitamura Camera, where there's great deals for Leicas, so we'll see if we'll get anything. Oh my god, that's beautiful. It's on sale? What? It's on sale? What? Okay, what is 3 million?
3 million is like 21K.
21K? Okay, never mind. Alright, what about this one? 950,000.
Yeah, 7,000.
Damn, B. Even though the Japanese yen has fallen greatly, the camera deals that existed a few months ago were no longer there as the camera shops adjusted for the times. I was on the hunt for an upgrade to the 28mm Summicron after my loan with Leica expired a couple months ago, but even though I didn't find any steals, I still appreciated the pristine condition and presentation that these Japanese camera retailers had with their Leicas. Alright, I just got all my shopping done. That was hours worth of shopping, but got some good stuff. But now it's time to do some flash photography, some night photography at Shibuya Crossing. That's where I'm at right now. It's super crowded, but it's not really that loud. It just feels like a bunch of murmuring around me. Like, I think that I'm the loudest talker right now in all of Shibuya, besides all the speakers that are going on right now. Extremely excited to do some flash photography where it's just a whole bunch of scrambling and shuffling. Yeah, it should be great. The Shibuya crossing is as advertised, with the largest density of people imaginable in one area. It's truly overwhelming, I'm not even joking. Street photography wise, I probably crossed about 15 times taking photos, and every time, strangely enough, I felt like I was just doing something wrong. Do I get out ahead in front of the crowds? Do I hang back in the middle? Do I just walk in one direction? Do I float in the middle and just react? These are the questions I kept asking myself, and it took me a very long time to kind of get into a groove. I probably shot around 2 rolls in this given session because of the time constraint that I was on, because I need to get somewhere else. If you're interested, my settings for 400 ISO film were at 1/30th of a shutter, at f8 if I was pretty far away from people, and f11 if I was point blank flashing people.
Let's see what this good as rice looks like. That was bomb. Nice. Alright.
Alright, so we finally touched down in Osaka, and we're gonna make a day trip out to Kyoto. Currently, it is raining a lot, like it's dumping rain, so there's hardly anybody out in the street. The environment is so much more different, not only because of the weather, but because of the density. So much lower than Tokyo. Pockets of like busyness here and there, lots of retail, still got the convenience stores on every corner, but here it's a lot slower pace, which I personally needed. I will say that after my 6th day in Tokyo, seeing all of that many times at that level was a bit much. It started to kind of tire me out. I lost inspiration for photography, and I felt like I was just photographing the same thing, so I had to slow down a little bit. But the film situation is still bad. I almost have little to no film. I need to go buy some, but it is so expensive. I looked up Portra 800, $30 here. Insane. I don't know how Tokyo SPC, I don't know how they'd be affording all this film, but it's wild. And when I go over to Hong Kong in a couple days, the film is a little bit better in pricing, but still not as good as the US. So I kind of have to change my perspective in how I used to complain about the film prices back there. But this range should be interesting for now and how I photograph moving forward. And quieter pastures is what I got, especially in Kyoto. The side streets, the lower buildings, the demographic, and the speed were all things I needed to feel rejuvenated creatively, to start photographing more gentle, slice-of-life scenes compared to the hustle and bustle of Tokyo. I needed to feel that balance in my work of fast and slow. Kyoto ended up becoming my favorite destination actually on this whole entire trip. The food and scenery were great, but I'm not sure if I would have felt this strongly about it if it weren't for the great time I had in Tokyo to compare it to. watching people do their thing freely. Whenever I travel, my favorite pastime is to observe locals go about their lives, and although anything provides insight on culture, I enjoy watching individuals against the backdrop of their city or town and learning about the culture from that. These tender moments on film, in photography, what have you, are what I like to keep for my memory and to share with all of you. To close this out, I would love to thank the sponsor of this video, Squarespace. Squarespace provides some of the industry-leading tools for making a portfolio for photographers like us who want to be taken seriously. I recently renovated my website to be more focused on my documentary work. Squarespace allows a lot of customizability from their award-winning templates to something as simple as changing the background to black. I love how my website feels more mature, and if I have any questions or problems, I know I can contact the 24/7 customer service to get myself squared away. You can start a free trial today at squarespace.com/ChrisChew. Use my code ChrisChew at checkout for 10% off your first purchase. Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Thank you all for watching a little peek into this casual travel video with some film photos to go with it. The next trip to Japan will be such a different vibe, as I'll probably want it to be more intentional and photography/niche cultural experiences focused. But until then, I have 2 more videos coming from this trip, being the Hong Kong recap and a Streets and Eats video from Tokyo. But until then, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.